This is the shirt bag. This is the shirt bag. The main measurements, the main measurements. This is 15.5 by 8 by 9. 15.5 by 9. This is the main measurement. 15.5 by 9. This one is the back and the flap, and this one is the front panel. So this one too is 6.5 by 9. 6.5 by 9. When you get these two, then you get the side. The side, just measure this place round. That's how you get the side, the base, and the other side. So give us 22.2. So this is the 22.2. This is 22.2 by any width size of yours. So I use 22.2 by 4.5. 22.2 by 4.5. So after the 3 measurements, what you are going to do, so we'll take the male panel, which is a 15.5 by 9. So I'm going to measure. This is what we will do. This place is the other part is 6.5. So I'm going to measure 6.5 here. I'll measure 6.5 here. This is my 6.5. I'll measure it to this place. This is 6.5 at the center. So this is 6.5. Try to get the center of this. Try to get the center. So this is the 6.5. Look for something round you can use to make the curve. How you want it to be. How you want the polo. How big you want the polo. Look for something round to make the polo. So I'll be using this. Let me use this for the polo. So use this. Use anything you want. Whatever you use for the polo is what you measure for the polo. So I'll be using this. Don't forget, I measure the front side, which is 6.5, and I measure my 6.5 here. So this is my 6.5. So when I want to start my curve, I will start with 6. This is my 6.5, but I'm going to start with 6. You can start with 6.5 too. So I'm going to start with 6. I'm starting my curve with 6. So when you want to make this circle, make sure it's at the center. In which just measure the both sides. Make sure this is 2.3. So this two must be 2.3. It is not the same. Adjust it. So now I'll make my curve. If you want the polo to be bigger than this, wider than this, use something that is. Just look for anything you can make to for the curve. So you can see the curve. So after I've made this curve, what I'm going to do now is to measure it round. So instead of measure it here, you can just measure this one to make it easier, since it's the one that makes the curve. So when I measure this, it gives me 13. So I'm going to measure 13 inches for the polo. This is the polo. This is the 13 inches. So I measure 13 inches by 4. 13 inches by 4. So this is for the polo. Then after that, we are going to measure some piece, the pocket here. I'm going to measure some pockets here. So the pockets that I mentioned, we measure the pockets are the flap, So for the pocket, I measure 3.1 by 3.1. So I measure 3.1 by 3.1 or 3.2. You can make it any one of it. It depends on the size of your bag. Then the flap too is the same size. It's 3.2 by 3. 3.2 by 3. So I cut 2 of it. I cut 2 of this too. Then from this place, from here, just measure it. It gives you 6. So I'm going to cut a button hose here. The button hose, which is this, will give us 6. So I make a button hole of 6 by 1 inch, just 1 inch. So I'm going to start the sewing by firstly fix the button. Now I'm using 2-face leather, so make sure you trim it very well to make it neat. Trim it very well. If you have sandpaper, you can use it. If you have a what's it called, edge coats, you can use it to make it neat. So I'm going to start by fixing my button because I don't want it to show. I don't want it to show when fitting. I'll start by fixing the button, then I'll sew it. So you know, anything you can use for the button. So I'm just going to use this. This is what I have now. This back stand. This back stand. So I'm just going to fix the button. So just try to make a hole. Try to make it at the center. How you want the button to be. Just make like 3 or 4 holes. How you want it to be. So I'll fix it there before I'll go and sew it on it. So I'm using 3. 3 is okay. Some use 2, some use, it depends on how you want it. The 3 is okay. I'll just fix the 3 button. So you can fix as many as you like. You can fix bigger one. Then I'm going to sew it here. I'm going to sew it here at the center of it. I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it at the center of this place. If you want, you can see that I've cut some. If you want to do your own, you can make it out because I'm using 2-face leather. By the time I want to sew this down, it will be very difficult. So I'll sew this. I'll sew this place. So after sewing this, we take our collar. You know how we get the collar there, round of this place. We take our collar, we fold it into 2. We fold it into 2. You can just measure like this place, like 1 inch. You can measure like 1 inch. 1 inch or let's measure 1 inch here. And shift and measure like 3 inch to this place. So this 3 inch, make sure like half inch, make sure half inch. For the 3 inch, you measure half inch. Then measure another 3 inch. You measure 1.5 inch. Then what you do is just to slant it, just cut it this way. Just cut it. It will be very difficult for me to cut these two leather at the same time. So let me just try. So that is our collar. So what we are going to do now, this straight place, we are going to sew it here. We are sewing it round. So we are starting this way. Make sure you follow this line. We are sewing it round. So you can see I will start very close to the button holes. Then I'm going to sew it round. Just want to show you the sewing. So any sewing that is not necessary, I may not show you. Just try, just be following the line. It's just as simple as that. You can see I'm sewing it gently. Just have to follow the line.
Somebody just raise your hands and tell him, I'm nothing without you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. Somebody say, I'm nothing without you, Jesus. You made me absolutely nothing without you. Absolutely nothing without you. Absolutely nothing without you, Jesus.
This is how it will look like. Don't forget, this is how we sew it in. So once you just put it like this, this is how it will look like. And don't forget something. Assuming you want to put the small handle, even this bag, I myself, I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. If you want to put the inner handle, when you are sewing this place, you will fix your handle. You will have sew your handle together here and the other one here. You will have sew it together. But I don't like this bag. I don't know what people see in this bag. But because people demanded for it, that is why I make the free training of it. So when you are sewing it, round, you will fix the first handle, then you will sew. By the time you get to the center here, you fix the second handle, then you will sew it down. Then that is all. But I'm not going to put that. So after we are done with this, we take our pockets. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to mix the color. So I'm going to fix the pockets first. Before we fix the flap. Just try to trim it. So I'm going to fix the pocket. Then for our flap, just do it this way. Then make any shape of your choice. So I'm going to leave it that way. Then for the second one too, all you need to do, use it to cut it. Just use it to cut it. So what I'm going to do now is to fix all this. I'm fixing it this way. Is to fix all this one. Then after fixing it, I'll put my button there. So I'm going to fix it right now. I've sewed the pocket. So I've sewed the pocket. And see, now that We are almost done. So if you want to put a button here, you are free. But to me, it's not necessary. But if you want to put it here, you are free. Then what we are going to do now is to face our magnets here. Is to face our magnets here. Is to face our magnets here. Lady, sorrow. So what I need to do is just to get the center. Like one each backward, it's okay. Then here's our magnet.
You're the one that keeps making things happen. You're the one backing me up. You're the one showing me mercy. It's your faithfulness. It's your goodness. It's your faithfulness. I give it all to you. I give it all to you. I give it all to you. Hey, I give it all to you. I give it all to you. Somebody say, I give it all to you. Give it to him. I give it all to you. I give it all to you. Take it all. I give it all to you.
So after fusing our magnet, then we will that means this place will be inside, while this place will be outside. To the outside, or you can use any other side, because this is how I want it. Then we are going to freeze this place too. So the mistake I made here, I was supposed to have fixed the magnet, but now I can even fix the magnet. After fixing the magnet, and put one bottle here to cover it up. I put one bottle here to cover it up. So I'm going to fix the magnet. Then here, assuming you are not using two-faced leather, after sewing it this way, look for a leather of its size to cover the sewing. You just place it on it and sew it. Just place it and just look for a leather of the size this. If you don't want the sewing to show, after you have done all your sewing, just cover it up. Just sew it round. So by the time they open it, it will be neat. So fix the second one. So I'll fix the magnet. What I did here, I removed this a little bit and I'll fix it and I will sew it back. Please, anytime you want to do, maybe you should first use your fix your magnet before sewing this. So by the time you sew this, it will be on the, so that the magnet teeth will not come out. So I'll fix it now. I'll fix it. Then what we need to do now is to fix to fix our side. To fix our side. So this is our side. Before we fix our side, don't forget you have to put our adjuster here. You have to put our adjuster here. So I'm putting the adjuster. I'm putting it with just cut a piece of leather.
I return to say, absolutely nothing without you. Absolutely nothing without you. You.
So just cut a piece.
You.
So I'll use this for the two. Then locate the center and sew it. Locate the center and sew it there. If you want to sew, you can measure 1.5 inch or 1 inch. So make sure it's at the center. Make sure it's at the center. So sew the second one too. So now I've fixed the second one. All we need to do is to sew it round. Is to fix it round. So I'll first fix this.
Absolutely nothing without you. All I have is what you gave. And who I am is what you made. Absolutely nothing without you. Absolutely nothing without you.
So I'm going to face the second side. So this I'm going to freeze it.
Lift your hands and say absolutely nothing.
And just mark the center here. Just mark it. And when you are sewing it outside, you'll not be able to launch it. Mark it.
Somebody just raise your hands and tell him absolutely nothing without you.
I'm not sewing it from there. Just want to get it straight. So by the time you are sewing it and this marking did not get to each other, that means it's not accurate. So this, I'm still starting from top.
Lift your voice and say absolutely. I'm absolutely nothing without you. Absolutely nothing. Somebody say yes, I love you, Jesus. Absolutely nothing. You are the end of the breather. You are the wind beneath my wings.
And sew it round. So they will not know it's accurate for me. So look at the motion part, the same thing. So sew it round like that. So all you need to do is to trim if there is any, it is not straight. And if you trim, if you have edge coat, just sandpaper, assuming you are using surface leather like this, you can just sandpaper it, apply your edge coat to make it smooth. Just try to make it neat. I think I have given the idea. I told you, for me, I don't normally like this. I don't like it. I don't know why. I don't know what people really see in it. So this is all about it. All you need to do is just to put your, you want to use handle, you want to use chain, anything you want to use, just put it. And that is ready. And trim it as well. Make sure you trim it because I will not trim it properly. Trim it, apply your edge coat if necessary. So this is our bag. Thank you for watching. See our bag and souvenir online training.